I'm Laura from Three Kittens. I'm the host of this meeting. And I call everybody to order. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, hi everyone. We're missing Sunny tonight and Lucinda tonight. They had other things going on. So you have to just deal with 4 of us. I hope you're okay with that. And we're going to do quick introductions again because who knows if we have new people joining us. Once again, I'm Laura from Three Kittens in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area of Minnesota. And Becca, why don't you go next?
Hi, I'm Becca from Threadbender Yarn Shop in Granville, Michigan. And it's 900 degrees. So I just got out of the shower and my hair's wet. So that's why I look kind of raggedy.
You look great.
Happy Friday.
You look fabulous. What are you saying? Stop it.
All right,
I should have
Laura.
worn my tiara.
Yeah, there you go. Laura's going to go next.
I'm wearing my, I put it on. Like I said, you want a mood booster? Get yourself a tiara. Put it on. That's what I'm saying. I am Laura, otherwise known sometimes as the Prize Fairy. I don't know. That's what I was just like, with the tiara, whatever. And this might be bourbon, or might not. Actually, it's not bourbon. Actually, my husband likes bourbon, so I stole his mug. But I did give him this mug. So, and I am here at my shop, ready to show you guys the stitch pattern for this week. But I'll let, who's going to go next? Lucy, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, should I?
Here, I'll spotlight you.
Oh, thank you. I'm Lucy, and I own Stash Charlotte in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I am under this heavy little shoulder thing because even though it's hot as Hades outside, it is freezing indoors, and that's how you know it's somewhere in the South.
I'm going to come
You
visit
look
you.
so cute. I love it. You
I
look
just finished it, so I thought I'd throw it up because I'm freezing.
so nice.
This is what you were demonstrating on last week.
Was it?
Yes.
So I want to just say I'm originally from Houston, Texas. And I found out recently, just yesterday, that apparently in Texas, ERCOT, who runs the energy grid there, has told people in Houston that they should have their thermostat during the day at 78 degrees and at night at 82. And I'm thinking, yeah, I'm really glad I don't live there anymore. Really glad.
I used to live in Texas too.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I used to live in Corsicana and also Midlothian between 2000 and 2006. So yes, I understand Texas heat. Houston is even more humid. So,
yeah, I grew up there, so.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Consumers Energy, which is our electric here, I don't know where else they're in the Midwest, but they are doing a thing where Monday through Friday from 2 to 7, residences are going to have higher rates from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. So like, don't run your air conditioning, don't do laundry, don't run your dishwasher. And it's like, it's through September. So I'm super pumped about that.
Ooh.
Sarcasm.
What? Becca? Sarcasm?
Never.
All right, so everybody, I've got the agenda that Sunny very kindly put together for us. So the next thing on here are questions or issues with the pattern. Does anybody have anything they need to ask us? And if so, if you could do me a favor and use the reactions button down at the bottom of your screen and raise your hand, because otherwise I won't be able to see you. And if somebody else could monitor the chat while I'm monitoring this other stuff, that was
Here in California, they have electric stove. Oh, the video was helpful. Okay, good. Yes, I made that video because I knew the other people designing this pattern would also need that video. So I was under no assumptions that this was going to be like, oh yeah, I know how to do that. So I made it, and I will also show everyone, like I've got a little sample here that I can show y'all on. But it's kind of going to be the similar thing to the video. So if I'll show you that. You can also watch the video. The people who are missing the Zoom can hopefully watch the video. But are you guys wanting me to like just talk about my section now? Right?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. All right. Let me see. Can I sign my phone? Because that might be helpful. Let's see if we can- What was the, oh geez, what's the meeting passcode? I should have done this before. Hold on. Because you'll get a much better like visual of it.
Do you need the
Laura-
meeting passcode?
Yeah. Wait. What is the?
The
it's in my
meeting,
hand.
the meeting passcode, I've got it right here if you want me to give it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. What is it?
056267.
Oh,
There you are. I'll admit you.
all right.
And I will try to find that and
Let's see. I
share
don't-
Spotlight
Okay.
if
Yes.
I can find it.
There. Yeah. Okay.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
there'll be two. There.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
there's
trying
two
to
pictures
share.
of me. I know, because you guys just need to see me twice. But you should have only one audio of me, because if I turn on the audio on my phone, your ears will not like me. All right, so first I'm going to talk about,
Do you want me to share the Spotlight between the two or just do the Spotlight on your camera?
as long as you guys can hear me,
Yeah.
because that's going to be on my computer.
All right, I'm taking your face off.
Oh no, took my face off. All right.
Well,
All right. I was thinking maybe we could go on a little adventure of the stitch patterns. Okay. Now this sample in front of me is not what I dyed up. It was, it's the larger one. Look, okay, this table is 4 by 8. And this shawl goes over that edge, all the way over that edge. It's long. Okay, so let's start over here. We started at the beginning. Okay, so here, sowing seeds, right? That was sowing seeds from Laura. And you notice,
Hey, Laura.
you can hear me?
Yeah, you're far away from your other computer, so we couldn't hear you.
Okay, here we go. I'll just carry it with me. All right, so here we go. Can you hear me now?
yes.
Okay, so here we started with Laura's stitch pattern, sowing seeds, right? You'll notice the rows, of course, are much narrower. And then we have what, this is Lucinda's, where's the flowers? I'm trying to blank the names. Okay. All right. And then, was it spring?
April showers.
April showers. Okay. April showers there from Becca. And then we had Lucy's, what was grass? Leaves of grass. Was it
Grass.
leaves?
Leaves of grass.
Yeah, right there. Okay. And then we had Sunny's, and it was named after that area near her, or Elk Ridge Springs, right?
Man, you're good.
Right. Oh, well, no, I'm not. But
Oh,
and then here we go. This is what I did. Now, let me tell you why. Okay, because Laura was starting way over there. The rows were much narrower. These are much wider rows. So I really wanted to end with something a little bit more dramatic. And with the spring theme, I wanted something like big flowers. So that's why I call it big old blooms. That's what these are. And I also wanted something that was adaptable, which means that you could do a set and you could control how far you went, and you could add rows or take away rows relatively easily. So that's why I came up with the big old blooms. You'll notice if you've read through or started knitting it yet, that most of the blooms are all the same size, except there's a few on this edge that are either really tiny, full size, or like a little bit bigger, or like, but not full size. That's because if these were blank, I just thought that looked weird. Okay, so those are the only places you're going to do something that's not 9 stitches wide, really. And then if on the other side of the rows, way over here, it's pretty easy. These are full size blooms. Okay, so the only time you're making the smaller blooms is just to fill in these little spaces over here, because we're increasing for each set of rows. All right, so now I've got to bring my sample over here. Set it up. Can you see it now? Okay.
Your voice is
Computer.
quiet again.
Got it. There, you hear me better now?
Yeah.
All right, sorry, thanks. Okay. And I didn't pick this stitch pattern until after I saw what Sunny had designed, because I was kind of like waiting for everybody else to just show me what they were going to come up with. And I had maybe an idea or two in my head, but I was just kind of trying to go along with what everybody, and just continue on the same beautiful vein that everyone else said before me. Okay, so I have stopped here on the pattern. Let's see. When you get into the bloom stitch, before you go to the bloom stitch, there's your purl 9 wrapping yarn twice. Okay, so that's row 316. All right, and I've already done a little bit of it right here. You can see I did some double wraps while purling. I did 9 of them in a row. Can you see that? And then there's 3 regular purls. Okay, so when you're doing that purl row, you're wrapping twice. It's hard because I can't really see what I'm doing. Wait, there we go. That's the second one.
You purl like I do.
Third.
That makes me so happy.
4. Whoop. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. Now, let me double check. All right, yes, there's 9 of them there. Now, when you slide these around, it is going to be a little bit harder to slide. So try not to get that double wrap too tight. I mean, you'll still be able to knit the stitches if you do wrap a little bit tight, but it's just going to be harder to slide. Okay, and then I've got to finish the repeat. I've got 3 regular purls. Okay, now you'll notice in the pattern, it says if 3 stitches, if 6 stitches, if 9, if 12. Okay, well, this is a tiny little piece, and I actually didn't count how many. Really, I wasn't like trying to go for a specific count. If you have the correct counts in the pattern, those are the options that you're going to end with. But if you're off by a stitch or two, you can kind of just do what I'm going to do here. Okay, where there's 4. Okay, I just need to purl there. I just need to purl 2 and then knit 2. You need to end with a knit 2, but if there's room for a smaller bloom, then you're going to make that smaller bloom, and that's what these little instructions are for. Okay, so I had 4, which is close to that 3. So instead of purling 1 and knit 2, I just purl 2 and knit 2. Okay, I didn't have enough. I didn't have 6, so I couldn't do that. All right, so if you're slightly off the stitch count, no big deal. Okay, if I need to like rewrite that, I don't know. Like if you're on stitch count, then this makes, you won't have that issue. But I did want to mention it because I knew that some people could be off by like 1 or 2, and I didn't want them to like freak out or anything. Okay, so I finished that row, and then I'm going to row 317, and this is where you have the bloom stitch. Okay, so it's the same thing you've been doing on the other edge. Knit 1, knit 2 together for that edge. Okay, and then it says knit to the first group of double wrap stitches. Okay, so if it's a regular stitch, I'm just going to knit. Knit. Okay, and then there's a double wrap. Okay, and now I'm going to do the bloom stitch, which is slip the next set of double wrap stitches knitwise. Okay, so I slip knitwise, then 2, 3. You see that? 4. Just slipping it knitwise. 5. I'm just going to do, I don't even really need to count because I can just keep going until I run into the next regular knit stitch. I mean, there happens to be 9 there. But look, now we've got these bigger stitches on there. Okay, they're just kind of like bigger stitches. And you need to, you need to slip them back onto the left-hand needle, and you're going to end up knitting through the back loop. But what I just do is take my left-hand needle and just put them through all 9, and you'll just make sure you stop at the last one that you knit. Okay, whether it was 9, a set of 9, or a set of 6, or a set of 3, but whatever, but just go through like that. Now I'm actually set up now to start knitting them. I didn't actually have to pass them over to this needle because now I've got this needle in the back ready to knit through the back loop. Okay, there's 9 of them there, and I'm going to create 9 more stitches out of them. So you just basically, you don't want to lose or gain stitches. So I'm going to, for the instructions, I knit through the back loop, but I don't take it off. Then I yarn over. Okay, and I keep doing that, alternating, knit through the back loop and yarn over. Okay, until I have 9 more again. And if you find this awfully fiddly, just kind of like squish those 9 stitches together and think of them as one as much as you can. Okay, so I did my yarn over, and I just keep going, knit through the back loop, then the yarn over. And when I was doing this, I kind of got into a rhythm and I wasn't really counting until I thought I had 9 on there. And then I just separated my yarn and looked to see if I had 9 again. If I started with 9, I wanted to get 9 back on there. So there's 9 right there. And you're always ending with the knit through the back loop, not a yarn over. So there's 9 back on there, and then I slide it off. Okay, so that's the little, that's the really fiddly part. And then there's 3 knit 3s, regular knit 3 stitches. And then you just do it again. Okay, so slip, 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 slip. There we go. I should have 9 bigger stitches there. Okay. And then I put the needle through all of those. Okay, and I should be set up Just make sure that that yarn is coming from the last one there. To do the same thing again. And if it ever gets like, look, you see, I started to grab a little bit of the extra yarn. Okay, you know what? I just drop it off, put the needle back in there. You know, if I started to split some stitches or anything, as long as you keep those stitches on that left needle and haven't dropped them off yet, it shouldn't be that hard to kind of like fix everything, I suppose. So there's one, yarn over. And just keep doing that until I get 9 back on again. It's harder to do this on camera, of course. Let's see, do I have 9 again? I think I have. Yes. So if you doubt it at all, it's harder to see. There you go. I'm just going to count until I have 9 again. And then I know I'm done. And then to end it, I'm doing a knit one, the knit front, back front, drop your yarn over in the knit one. So. Okay, now when I'm going back through, and you're actually just doing row B, okay? But obviously that this row B is gonna be a little bit harder to do than your other row Bs because you're purling into these 9 stitches that are squished together. So it'll be a little bit slower than other times that you've done row B, but you just have to kind of like get the stitches separated as much as you can. So now I'm just purling. Yeah. Show you what I mean, I guess, and that'll be done. Okay, so now I'm purling, and all I got to do is just, you know, hopefully you have pointy enough tips for this, I suppose. That one might help you. But I'm just trying to make sure I purl into each stitch separately. And if you have any doubt, I suppose just like count the number of stitches that you got out of there. Make sure it's 9 if you started with 9. And this will kind of create a wave-like texture. You can see in the finished pattern, even though you're knitting in straight rows. Here we go. There's the big bloom stitch. Does anyone have questions?
I'm not seeing any hands raised, but if
Yeah,
anybody.
maybe they're working on an earlier section. I wasn't anticipating that.
Oh, here's somebody's
There's a
hand.
hand. Okay.
Hold on just a second. Let me unmute. Emily, go ahead. You need to unmute yourself.
Got it. Laura, I'm working on the knit row as you're doing this when you're adding the 9 stitches back on. And I have nice pointy needles, but I'm finding that 9th stitch really twiddly. I'm having trouble getting it back through. Any ideas on that?
When you're on the knit row,
Yes, ma'am.
like when you're doing when you're creating the
When I'm going back and replacing, so to speak, the 9 stitches on the right
Okay.
needle, it's
Yeah.
that 9th stitch is really fiddly, and I wondered, I sometimes it takes me 10 attempts to get
Okay,
that
okay.
one on.
If you I wish I was at a point where I could, yeah, I think I know what I can do here.
I'm gonna take the spotlight off Emily so we can see your hands.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, I need to get it into
Yeah,
a
take
spot where I
your
can
time.
kind of like show or something.
yeah, take your
And
time.
I'm kind of like tearing. my sample a little bit, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so drop that out. There we go. I know, I'm like tearing it up, but I think I know what might help if I can get this in the right spot. Okay. So like you're right here,
Yes.
maybe, right here. Okay,
Right.
and you're knitting through the back loop.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I've
So
got, and I
one
have,
thing I did while I was working on it was make sure that this very first one is stitch of the 9 is big enough, because if you're doing it too small, then everything is kind of squished together a little too much. I mean, you might accomplish all the stitches, but if you make that first one just like the first of the 9 that you're doing big enough, then
okay,
that might help you keep everything big enough so you can fit those 9 in there. So that might be what helps you, because there I've got 5.
6,
Yeah.
7, 8, and it's that 9th one that I have the hardest time bringing
But
back.
if you have a
through.
little more room, you might be
I
able to
see.
do it.
I see.
Do
Okay,
you
thank
think that
you.
might help you?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, good. So try
I
to make sure that
noticed-
first one is big enough. Otherwise, you're kind of like handcuffing yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, if you give yourself a little bit more room by making sure the first one is big enough, I think that it'll make it a little easier.
Okay.
And
Good.
Laura, I'm noticing too, which is a great idea, like, you're kind of like, when you do your first stitch, you're kind of like stretching your needles apart
Okay.
and then doing the yarn over and pulling it and that's giving you a little bit more like space with the yarn to work with. And I
Okay.
think that might help with the last couple
Yeah.
stitches too.
Yeah, to get the 7th, 8th, and 9th one out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you just make sure that those stitches are big enough over here,
Mm-hmm.
so that you're not like down here, so that you're not like
Right.
yeah. If the first one is big enough, it shouldn't handicap you
Okay.
as much. Try that. Hopefully that
Mhm.
goes.
Thank you.
Somebody's actually up to the section 6. Yay. Because I know, people have lives,
Yeah.
things to do. What?
I've got a question I have.
Okay.
Hi, Joan.
Hi, I have a question. When you're working on the bloom stitch and you do one where there's only like 5 pearls in there. So you're not going to put 9 wraps in there. You're just going to do 5, right? So you just do
Yes,
this.
you're just recreating what you got in. That's in
Okay,
there. Yeah.
I didn't think it specifically said anywhere, but I just assumed that, and that's what I did the first round because I'm on your section.
Yes. Well, you know what? Slipping back on and into all 9. Well, like right here in the pattern, it says into all 9, and but into all 9, but that could be less than 9. But over here it
Okay.
does mention it. But I suppose I could kind of fix that. You're not trying to gain or lose stitches.
That's when you said that really helped me to
Okay,
understand
yeah.
exactly what I needed to do.
Yes, and the only time you're going to be doing that is this edge over here on some of the.
You're away from your computer again.
Yeah, well, sorry. The only time you're going to be doing that was on some of those rows. Like, I don't have my head. Here. And the pattern says to do it 5 times, right? The repeat. Can you hear me?
I don't have it in front of me.
Can you hear me? Yeah, the pattern says, uh, if you have enough yarn, but you can, if as many as 6 times. Okay. All right. But let me show you. Y'all can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I put the headphones on. All right. Can you hear me over here?
Not so
Yes.
much.
Oh.
Really? Oh. Well, this is the only time you're making this bloom stitch. That's the only time you're making the bloom stitch less than 9. Did you see that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Whoop. Okay. Whew. All right. Does that make sense for the question? Did I answer it?
She muted herself, so I think
Oh.
that means.
Well,
Yes,
speak up if I didn't.
yes,
Speak up if I
you
didn't,
did
because that's why I'm here. All right, good.
You did
Because that's
answer.
why I'm here. All right, good.
And if not, she knows where to find us. We can always.
Yes, I know, but we're here and I'm alive. I'm
You
alive.
are.
I'm alive. So
It's alive.
yes,
It
I'm
is
alive.
alive.
I'm alive.
We did have a few questions before you started that somebody wants to know what you're wearing, Laura G.
Me? Really?
Is that your
Oh,
design?
what I'm wearing?
Here.
Is that your
Oh.
design with the tassels?
Uh,
Or is it not?
tassels?
I'm
No,
gonna
never
switch you
mind.
your spotlight here.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Oh yeah. Sure. You
What's
want to know
your-
what I'm wearing?
Yeah, you've got that shrug with the tassels on it.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
it's a different shrug. That's cute.
No, no. This. Do you know what this is? This is my one skein shrug pattern. One skein of fingering in a stockinette rectangle, and I Kitchener right here and right here. Now this skein, you'll notice this skein, it bothers some people. That's okay. Look, this skein, I did not dye it, has more speckles on this side, on this end, than on the other end.
It's
But
artsy.
Yes, it's my one skein shrug. It's a free pattern on my website that I wrote a while back. And you
now,
want to know what else I'm wearing? I'm going to tell you anyway, even if you don't want to know. Seriously, seriously, here. No, no, you have to get the whole picture, the whole
Oh
view.
no.
All right, no. Wait, I just can't. I got to turn my computer.
As long as you don't flash anybody.
No, well, I shouldn't, but I got me a jumpsuit. Got me a jumpsuit yesterday downtown here. Like I walked over to another lady's store, 40% off. It's like wearing pajamas. Seriously.
How do you
Like-
go to the bathroom in that thing?
Well, yeah, that's always
my
the
question
You
too,
take it off, you get naked. Come on.
which is cool.
Doesn't it have a
I
flap?
suppose, right?
No, but you know what? Why don't guys wear jumpsuits? Because they don't have that problem going if it was a fly. You know what I mean? Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand why guys don't wear what was that this 2 summers ago? There
Romper?
was the romp hem. Remember? It was the romp hems. It was like
Oh, I
shorts
missed
from,
that.
like the gay guy. No, like it was more of a gay guy thing, of course, but because they can't, like regular guys can't wear that. But no, jumpsuits. I totally got it. I bought 2 because it's like wearing pajamas
I love the
I'm
pocket.
with pockets.
I know. That's key.
But yes, this my one skein shrug pattern. Like you got this one skein of fingering, you don't know what to do with it. It's just a stockinette rectangle, so it's not the most exciting thing to knit. There's no bloom stitches.
It's good, like concentrating on a movie knitting. Like if you're watching
Yeah.
a really intense, or like Dateline, where you're trying to solve the crime.
Yeah, it's definitely like the TV knitting, except for right here is a Kitchener graft. Like, and the thing is I really like to graft it because it like points at my boobs. And so I like it grafted instead of seamed. Do you know what I mean? But that is much harder. So if you have somebody who's a beginner, they can do the knitting all by themselves. And then like we have a friend help them with the grafting, or you could just seam it Do you know what I mean? I just don't like the look that you get when you see that. I love the look of rafting. Got to have a challenge.
Hey, Laura, we've got a
Um,
couple of questions in the
Yes.
chat. So one is, where is the video you previously referred to?
Oh, it's in the pattern. The YouTube link is in the pattern. And I did also post it in the Facebook group because somebody said they were, I don't know, like, I don't know why they had issues getting to it. Did anybody else have issues getting to it? I will, let's see, can I post it here? If you give me a second, I'll post the link. Gotta bring it up on my computer.
Someone else asked if there's more than one way to do a double wrap.
More
I
than one
only-
way.
I only know of one way.
Me too. And Jenna, if you want to come in the store, I can help you with that. I know you don't live super
Yeah.
close, but if you need to come to buy something, perhaps, I can help you.
Yeah, girl.
Subtle. You're so subtle.
I know, right? That's
Yeah.
why-
Okay, good. Somebody else said the Lincoln pattern worked for you, but like if for some reason I don't know why it wouldn't work, but you know, it's possible, I suppose. I just pasted it into the chat, the link to the video that is also in the pattern. I realize if you're typing that in, it's just a bunch of gobbledygook letters, but there is a link. Hopefully you can open that.
Yeah, it can be copied.
Your daughter requisition that shrug, yeah. The thing with shrugs is they are so easy to knit because there's no shaping. But also because there's no shaping, you got to get them like the right size for the person so that they don't slide off your shoulders. Either that or you have to pin it. This one is sized okay for me. But yes, one skein of fingering should makes it no problem. It is loosely knit. It's on larger needles. That's why you can get like one skein of fingering into a shrug. But I'm
Well,
sure you
Laura,
guys have
what's
done
the
that
name of
before.
it? What's the name of it?
One skein shrug.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah, it's on my website. It's also in, well, I think the in Ravelry, it might direct you to my website.
And
You
you
know,
can also buy
it's-
fingering yarn on your website.
Yes,
I would imagine.
yes, you could, but I
You know.
just, that free patterns is always the reason to have it for free. And honestly, it just directs people to my website, but you can just download it, it's whatever, it's free. And it's not, the grafting is the hardest part. So if you do the grafting.
So there are a couple of other questions.
Yeah, what do we got?
Well, somebody says, where's Sunny? And I will just say she's on a little vacay. So she's
You
not here
can't
tonight.
open the link in the PDF. You know what? I think I clicked on it in my PDF and it opened just now.
Mm-hmm.
But you could be on something else, that doesn't do that.
It
You
doesn't
could be on a
Yeah, a device thing.
like a
Yeah.
different
Station.
device might not work for you. Because I opened up the PDF after downloading it and but I could see if you were like on an iPad or something else or whatever, for some reason it might not work.
I didn't mean to-
You should be able to type that in, which admittedly is annoying. Okay.
I'm just adding the four of us back
You
in.
subscribe to my channel? My channel doesn't have a whole lot
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Sorry. I should put more, I guess. What needles am I using? Somebody said, what needles am I using? Like right today, almost all the time, I use my Chow twists. I like pointy tips in general, almost always. So that's what I'm using.
You like pointy tips and you cannot lie?
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
No, it's all good.
Fantastic.
So I just spotlighted everybody, and sorry, you guys, I apparently suck at adding spotlights because I kept taking them off of everybody and replacing them.
I
And
don't want to see you. I don't want to see you.
now we're all here.
Playing the game.
Who's going to be up next?
Like,
Yeah.
do. Oh,
Laura, I think it's time for you to do a prize.
oh, yes.
Give away. Give away. Can I win?
Hey, Lucy or Becca,
No.
are one of you doing the random number generator?
Yes, could one of you do it and I'll show everybody the prize?
I can do it.
Okay,
Oh,
Hang on, let me pull it
all
up.
right. So you figured that out and I'll show you right here. It's a kit for the butterfly cowl.
Oh, that was
Um,
super cute.
Yeah, from Marin.
Yarns.
I know her online. I don't know her in person, so therefore, of course, I don't know how to pronounce her name. Is it Marin? But anyway, yes, it's beautiful.
Okay.
This is the pattern. I'll show you the yarn. Let me get some more light. Let's get some more light.
pick me, Lucy, pick me.
Well,
There
the
we go.
number is, who's gonna do the count? Laura, are you gonna
It's-
count the grid?
I can count the grid. Sure. Tell me the
Okay.
number.
It's
23.
Anik. Is that how you say that right?
Unique.
Unique.
Unique fingering. This is their mono, right?
Hey, while you're looking,
Flush merino.
Lucy, what number am I counting to?
23.
Okay. It looks like it's Chantel Bienvenue.
Is that
Ooh.
another?
Canadian. I think she already got a prize. Didn't she get a prize already?
Lucky.
She's lucky. All those dang Canadians, they so lucky.
Chantel,
There's a
unmute
lot of
yourself.
them on here.
Well, you know what? They're aren't they still stuck at home more, to be honest? Just generalizing. Yes. So they're gonna be like a Zoom people, like like, oh yes, let's talk fiber, let's talk yarn. Yeah. I mean, they're gonna be like, and the rest of everybody else around, especially around here, things are awfully back to normal. Whether they should be or not, you can argue, but they are. And so people are out doing stuff. Except me, because I have two 8-year-olds and my husband's gone. So
Oh,
just
By
on a
yourself?
work trip,
no. Well, that's what I meant. I'm like, you're stuck at home by yourself with two 8-year-olds?
I dragged him to the shop tonight. It's like, Molly's got to do a Zoom. Let's go. You know what they're doing? They're just watching TV upstairs. Upstairs. They're up there.
Chantel, you unmuted yourself.
Well,
Congratulations.
thank you.
And tell. Okay.
I don't speak English very well.
That's all right.
You don't speak French very well.
Okay.
She understood that she won.
Yeah.
So
Oh, Becca, you and I can put our what? How many years of high school and college French together and come up with Félicitations?
Mhm. Merci.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone noticed. Nobody noticed because nobody knew. There was a sentence I added in the pattern this morning before I uploaded it. And I was like, crap, I have to do this in French, but I didn't want to like bug
Oh.
Lucinda. So I just went to Google and translated it, and hopefully it's correct because I don't know.
hopefully you're not like swearing at them or offending them in French.
Yes,
Yes.
it was
I'm
like the
sorry.
sentence about like if you're using a gradient, like refer to the yardage chart for assistance or something. I don't even remember,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
but
And
hopefully it made sense.
like for example, on mine to get through the gradient, I think instead of just the 6 times repeated mentioned in the pattern. I mean, you could repeat the pattern 5 times, you could 6 times. I think I did 8 times on mine right here.
So Jenna, she's talking about in this last section, how many times to do your repeat of the bloom stitch, right, Laura?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did that so that I could get a little bit more of this green. Okay. also, if you just had enough yarn and you wanted to make the shawl a little bigger, I don't think there's a lot of difference in the overall look of the shawl if you just repeat it like 8 times instead of 5 times. It's just, make sure you've got enough left. And then the bind off is a simple bind off that, okay, there's my bind. I did the minimum amount for the bind off, but other people repeated it more. Only because I wanted the edge to still have a little bit of a scallop.
Mhm.
And so I didn't want to flatten it out too much. But
The one in the pattern is mine from my test knitter. I think she did it 3
yeah, the
times.
picture,
yarn
the
over the
picture
two
right
together.
here.
Yeah,
that bind off is a little bit bigger than mine, but you do you.
yeah, exactly.
You could do fewer of the bloom stitch if you didn't like it, and you could do more of the bind off if you like that simple lace that we had. You could certainly do that. Your choice. But yeah, but I still ended up with, this is what I have left. I got into all the way into the green on my gradient, but I still have about 20 grams left of my second skein. And that was even after adding some repeats. So you've never blocked before? Somebody said they've never blocked before. What? No, just kidding. Lots of people haven't blocked before. Okay, so blocking. Should we talk about it today?
Do we have time? Or maybe we can cover it next week.
We've got 15 minutes, so I don't know. It's up to you guys.
I'd rather do it when we have a sample that we can show.
Yeah, with
Right?
like mats and pins and like all the goods.
Yeah, and then all the and the various little tips we have, like using fishing line and for lace edges and stuff like that, right?
Magical tips.
Sounds like somebody's volunteering.
I think so.
Oh, no.
That's what I was thinking.
No. But
Well, we'll have that discussion offline.
oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Oh, I nominate Sunny. All those.
And Lucinda too.
There you go.
There we go.
Weed whacker cord. Oh yeah.
So I missed last week. What did you guys nominate me for when I was gone?
Don't you want to know?
Yes. I'm scared.
Well, okay. Let me just say, if you've never blocked before, go ahead and finish your knitting, okay? And don't, whatever you do, don't soak it in warm water. Use cold, please. But yes, we can show something about blocking next week, I suppose. If you want me to do it, I can. But I don't know if I've ever used weed whacker cord or fishing line. I like to use
What you do is, if you've got like these fancy edges, you run the line through it instead of having to pin out each one individually.
Yeah. Oh yes, I end up using like blocking wires.
Yeah.
But I suppose that would do very, very much the same kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I can demonstrate blocking next week if you guys want me to.
Yeah.
Whoever wants to do it. Ooh, not me.
Not I. Oh.
No scars.
There we go.
I can do it. It's okay.
Shoot, that was easy.
I swear I can do it even right now. I don't care.
No, that's okay.
I just don't know if we have enough time. Yeah.
Somebody-
Let's wait until we have like all of our poop in a
All
group.
over people here.
Somebody asked, she said, I thought today we were going to talk about knitting without looking.
Oh, okay. We can do that.
Oh yes, that was not me though.
We can do that. We totally forgot about it. Yeah, I'll do that one because I'm doing it right
Okay.
now. Okay. So, knitting without looking is one of those things that it doesn't really occur to you until you see someone do it, and then you're like, ooh. So, hang on, let me get closer. I have no makeup on. It's a great day for me to be on camera. All right. So, when I started doing this, it was out of pure frustration because I needed to read a book, and I did not want to look at this. Best thing to try it with is just a simple knit stitch, just a knit or a pearl, whichever is more comfortable in your hands. Actually, I'm going to back up so you can actually see the full body. And what you want to do, if you've been knitting for a while, you have muscle memory. And your hands will know where things go. And you just, the trick to it is to just start doing it. Do it on a piece where you're not, going to lose your mind if it's a rack. Like the one shrub, the one skein shawl is perfect for it. Because if you mess up, tank back, it's not a big deal. Or you can just call it design element. So for me, I learned to knit with my right hand. And even though I now knit with both hands, knitting without looking with my right hand is much easier. And if you notice, I'm staring at the camera. This takes practice, y'all. It doesn't come to you overnight, okay? But your hands know where the stitches are, where your fingers land normally. So what I recommend is if you're gonna watch your knitting, and then just look up and do a stitch and maybe do another one. And the worst that can happen is you have to undo them. And then check back with yourself. Okay, I don't do this with lace, obviously, unless it's a simple lace. You can do color work like this. I have seen the gals from Shetland knitting, with colors in both hands, patterning while they're talking to you about their lovely sheep. And that is the most impressive thing I've ever seen. So if you watch, I am an ambidextrous knitter. There you go. And I'm looking at you and I'm purling. Now I purl a little differently, so don't look at that. But it's
Don't look at me purling. Don't look at me.
don't look at me purling. But what I'm telling you is that there's always going to be one hand, even if you knit with both hands comfortably. When you are knitting without looking, there's always going to be one hand that's going to be a little more comfortable, just again because of that muscle memory. I mean, I was an English style knitter for a good 20 years before someone said, oh, have you seen this other way to do it? And that's when I started doing continental. But for my fingers, the memory is there. And it's, like every so often, if I do it with my left hand, I do need to just look down and double check myself, especially if I haven't done it for a while. So again, what you want to do is get yourself going on a row, get yourself a good, and don't think too hard about it. If you think too hard about it, you're going to mess up. Get going on a row and you're looking, and then look at the TV set. Get yourself a movie with subtitles because that's going to force you to look at the screen. Okay?
Nice.
Look up, read the subtitles. You can learn a little French while you're at it. And then
Yeah. Yeah, that would be good for us. Yeah.
I will say that if you're doing it and you're only supposed to be doing it for so many rows, check every once in a while, because I'm at like row 8 and I was only supposed to do 4. So I mean, I did some knitting without looking, but
yeah, and don't and yeah, so like someone said in the round is, that's great. In the round is great because then you just keep going. Because sometimes what will happen when you first start doing it is you come to the end of the row and you lose the rhythm. And then getting back into it's really hard if you're just going around and around and around. And then so there was that 3-color KAL that was really popular a while back. It was like a mohair, 3 different colors. Oh no, don't do it
there's
in mohair.
Kohilo Kelly's
Yeah, the 3-color
cashmere.
cashmere cowl. Yeah.
But do it like a nice fingering. Don't do it in a mohair. Don't do this. No, not as me. What else?
Somebody wants to know what you're wearing.
Oh, this is this. I was saying this is. I forget what it's called. I'll put it up on. I'll put it on the Facebook thing. It's just a little shawlette, and it covers my shoulders because the air conditioning vent is like literally right here. And if I turn that off, I'll get complaints from my husband. So, so this keeps me warm. And as I was saying, this is how you know it's summer in the South because we're all freezing indoors. What other questions? Okay.
We're at 7:55-ish. I think we should call it, unless anybody has a quick question or anything.
And you still can ask them in the Facebook group as long as you're in it.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
I think someone should do the big old bloom stitch without looking and
Oh, no.
post their results.
Challenge.
The most interesting results get a prize.
Absolutely.
Kidding. Kind of.
Yes. So next week, I'll show blocking. Sunny's gonna show how to wear the shawl, like different ways, I
Mhm.
guess. That's what she's gonna show. That was always the plan. Everyone who, whatever they're done with, are we gonna let them show off, right? Right, a little bit? Yeah. A little bit of show and tell.
Shannon's accepted the challenge, y'all.
Yes.
Oh.
I love when people accept my weirdo challenges. Makes me happy.
All right, so
So yeah.
we're good.
That's it. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us tonight. We got one more week to go. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye,
Lori,
everyone.
wave.